Marijuana stocks have surged this week as California ushers in the era of legal pot. So people have been lining up at dispensaries in the state to buy recreational marijuana since it became law January 1st. Meanwhile, on the stock market, pot companies are seeing big gains. Take, for example, Aurora Cannabis Inc. That stock jumped nearly 20% on Wednesday alone. And that's just one of the day's big winners. To break all of this down is James West, author of the Midas Letter. Good to have you with us this morning.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Okay, so as we know, Canada is set to legalize pot sometime this year. We're already here, this year, I'm saying. So we have a population that is pretty similar to California. So will we see this surge in stocks again?
Well, it's tough to say. You know, the government's committed to this policy of tripling the number of ACMPR licensed producers, implying that there's going to be a lot more supply. Their objective, obviously, is to undermine the illegal market through price competition. Is that going to result in an excessive supply? That means on the balance sheet of the marijuana producers, there's not going to be profit. That might take stocks lower. On the other hand, the global opportunity inherent in the advent of marijuana laws in California, Colombia, Germany, etc., presents another great opportunity. So who's to say? It's just crazy right now.
So at this point, there's so much talk around the dinner table of people saying, okay, should I get in? Should I invest now? Am I too late? Is there still time? Is this a risky investment?
Well, all investments are risky. You always run the risk of losing all of your money. And I guess by way of disclosure, I should say that I would benefit by an upsurge in the industry financially. So I'm inclined to say of course, there's tons of opportunity, and of course it's risky. You've got to, focus on quality management, all of the normal things that you would in any other company.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the big winners. I mentioned off the top Aurora Cannabis. Other Canadian companies saw massive gains yesterday as well. So is this growth sustainable in your opinion?
Absolutely not. I mean, a stock going up 20% per day, how many days in a row can that happen? Probably not too many. I mean, where is the top in the valuation of the sector? Again, impossible to say. The sector is defined by what would best be described as a mania at this point. And as we saw in .com era and other manias, there's no telling where it actually tops out.
Yeah, I was going to say, how big can this market get?
Well, that's the question.
We don't know.
How big can it get? Exactly. We're talking a global market. We're talking the emergence of an industry that has long been prohibited, but it also has medical applications. So even people who compare it to the deprohibition of the alcohol industry, which resulted in several generational fortunes being built, this is different. It's got medical, it's recreational, it has all these different applications. It's going global instantly, and who knows where it's going.
I should have rephrased my question. I said, how high can we go?
That's how high can we go? Well,
okay, I want to ask you lastly about Canadian companies. Would you consider them world leaders?
Yeah, absolutely. So even the advent of marijuana laws in California is a Canadian investor's opportunity because of the federal prohibition on marijuana in the United States. They can't muster the capital to bring to bear on the industry to make it meaningfully bigger. Only Canadians are in a position to do that. We've actually got our act together better than anybody else in the world, and that is going to continue to benefit Canadian investors for, I think, a decade at least.
All right, we'll watch how this rolls out. Thanks so much for being here today.
My pleasure.